Backstreet Boys in a world like this. In a world like 94.3 Radio 1, Chetan Mahajan says to me, man, you keep introducing me as CEO of HCL Learning. Maybe a couple of times you could say the author of The Bad Boys of Bokaro Jail. Will do. I like the acknowledgements. It starts with, honestly, this is the first book from a no-name author and will likely not get anything more than a passing glance from most people. So writing this acknowledgement feels a little like preparing an Oscar speech after having made a home video. Nice one.
Thank you.
Okay, tell us about some other interesting characters. There's a guy called Pappu Ansari who floats up. Real living in the flesh characters.
Yeah.
There's Mahto who's done a nice sketch of you at the last page.
Yeah.
Now that I see you face to face, we've only been communicating through email.
Yeah.
He's done a pretty good job, man. This guy could be a sketcher even outside the jail, yeah?
Yeah, so he's a 16, 17-year-old boy. And I saw him once doing a pencil sketch of Netaji Subhash because they were preparing for 26th January celebrations just as I was on my way out. And so I was looking for a souvenir, for lack of a better word, of my time in Bokaro jail. And I said, first I thought I'd ask him for that picture, then I figured maybe I can ask him to make a sketch of mine. And so I went to him and we had a small negotiation, let's say, and then we worked it out. And, so I tried to sit still for 90 minutes, but it was quite a zoo because I'm sitting here trying to sit very still. And this guy is, sketching, but there's nothing like privacy in the jail. So he's sketching on the back of a legal paper, and there is like 3 people over his right shoulder, 2 on his left shoulder, and there's constant commentary and conversation. And through all of that, the fact that he got anything close to a remote semblance is quite amazing. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but Pappu Ansari, and the people you befriended, who you could have even been friends outside the jail, the confines of the jail.
Sure.
Those have got to be memorable ones, yeah.
Yeah, so Pappu was this property dealer. He was accused of murder. And now, what the exact story is, I guess the legal system will unravel. Like I told you, I went back in December because I wanted to write the epilogue. I felt like my story didn't have a really clean closure. It wasn't really coming together. So I went back to write the epilogue, and that's when I learned that he had been released on bail, but the charges had not been dropped. There was some property dispute, and somebody got shot and killed. And
Ouch.
They both have their own version. Yeah, I mean, after a while you stop saying ouch when you're in Bokaro jail.
Yeah, I guess so.
But but he was a really nice guy. I mean, I got along very well. We used to walk together the whole time, and on multiple levels, like he would say really simple things like he wants to get married in the winter, and I asked him why, and he said in the summer there's so much extra food that gets made and that gets thrown because it gets rotten by the next morning, but in the winters it stays okay and people can eat it. So, small things like that. So he once told me, because I told him I'm not much of a religious guy, I'm more or less an atheist. His whole thing was, एक ही धर्म होता है दुनिया में, वो तो इंसानियत होता है.
Nice.
So that I could relate to.
And something we'll never ever imagine in the city slickness of Mumbai life is the fact that dowry deaths or wives getting murdered by mother-in-laws are a regular occurrence. And there's this guy who walked into Bokaro jail, a real guy again, this is not out of a movie, who's mentioned in The Bad Boys of Bokaro jail, who had actually slashed his own wrists, and you're going to say why he did. Tell us about that. It's quite crazy.
Yeah. So this guy, his first wife had already been killed, and
by the mother.
Yeah, we all just assumed that his mother had killed him. He said his mother had killed him. We just assumed that it was for dowry. And now, according to him, she was also most likely going to kill his second wife.
Ow.
And he wanted to. He was trying to protest in his own way. So he was trying to kill himself. So first he tried to slash his wrists, and that didn't work. So he went to the steel plant because that's what Bokaro is famous for. There's a massive steel plant. And he wanted to jump into one of the furnaces because that's a safe way of killing yourself, certain way of killing yourself. And that finally didn't happen because he was arrested at the gate because his papers based on which he was trying to enter the plant were fake. They were forgery. And so he landed up in jail, and then he told us this whole story. But the India of small town India in rural Jharkhand and what we live in the city are two
polar opposites.
Completely opposite places.
Hari Krishna, yes. Interesting session today. Thanks, Rishi K. Chetan and Rishi waiting to pick this book up now. Is it available on Flipkart? Where is it available? All the places.
It's available everywhere. It's available in all retail. I mean, my publisher is Penguin. So they've got a pretty good distribution. So it's in Crossword all over the place. It's in the airports. It's on Landmark. It's on Landmark, I'm not very sure. They're doing some strategy change, but it's also on Flipkart and Amazon.
Nice. Messages and back, a last leg of conversation with Chetan Mahajan. I'm going to put up one last picture also. That's at the rate of HRISHIKAY on Twitter, facebook.com/HRISHIKAY on Facebook. There's a Radio 1 Mumbai Facebook page, and one space your comment or your question and name to 53650.
94.1